The fact that it is September is actually blowing my mind. I am in shock. I don't know about you, but what the actual heck happened? I feel like I'm not even coping with this well, but I will say any month that ends in burr, so September, October, November, and December, oh, they're just so freaking fun. Okay, there is something so magical about these 4 months, and we have to embrace them. Okay, so if you're one of these people who are going to be like, oh my gosh, it's September, it's too early, I'm going to hold on to summer, we can't be talking about fall yet. Listen, this is not for you. This podcast episode. Wait until October to listen to it because we are jumping full force into all of the fall things. I'm wearing a tank top right now because it is almost 100 degrees and I did just come back from a walk and it was like a whole thing. But I also yesterday changed out my entire wardrobe. And I took all of my summer clothes and put it in a box and took down all of my fall/winter clothes and pulled it all out. And I love this. There is nothing better than changing out your wardrobe. Why? Because one, when you're not looking at the same clothes every single day, it's very, very fun. And I feel like I'm way more creative with my outfits when it feels like new pieces of clothes are added to my wardrobe. And also, I feel like it just makes more sense. Like, I don't need bulky sweaters and all of that, and corduroy pants and everything available to me in the summer. I just don't. It doesn't work well. So why would I leave that out? No, no, no. It makes way more sense to put all of that away. And then when I'm ready, it's like a reset for my wardrobe and everything feels new. I forgot I owned some of these pieces and I'm like so excited to start wearing them again. So anyways, I did that. And I don't really want to hear the sass of like, oh, it's too early, or oh, Belle, it's 95 degrees. Why are you wearing a sweater? Because fall is a mindset. Fall is a mindset, okay? It simply is. And we are full-fledged embracing said mindset right now. We're not going to wait for the temperature to agree with us. It's just happening, okay? So this is your fall inspiration. We're going to talk about some fall things. We're also going to get into all of the habits and the healthy things to be focusing on and just general life inspiration, but it is all fall themed, baby. And I am so excited. So first of all, fall drinks. Let's talk about it, okay? So Starbucks, I feel like, is going to be your just most famous, okay? And I've had 3 fall drinks from Starbucks so far, okay? Sounds excessive. Listen, it was purely for research. Purely journalism for this podcast, right? Pumpkin cream cold brew. Classic, delicious. I feel like, how could you not enjoy pumpkin cream cold brew? To me, more classic than the PSL. Not in name, but just in like the way I look forward to it, okay? The apple crisp non-dairy chai. I wanted to like this drink. I begged my taste buds to enjoy the adventure they were about to go on. And it sadly disappointed. It really did. I think there was something lacking with the chai and apple crisp flavoring. I think they just clashed too much and it felt like it was missing something. And I did not like it. I truthfully did not like it. And I thought chai tea, apple crisp, like how could we not love this combo? And I did not. It was a disappointment. Maybe you'll like it, but I'm just telling you, I'm forewarning you, maybe not. Now, that does lead me to my favorite drink, which is the apple crisp shaken espresso, decaf. Shaken espresso has so much caffeine in it. Oh my gosh. If you want to go for it, go for it. You know what I mean? Get all the caffeine. More power to you. But y'all know me, I try to limit my caffeine intake. So I stick with decaf, and it was the right choice, and it was delicious. And there is something so freaking good about that apple crisp shaken espresso. It's just superior to me. Okay. So that is the fall drink. I have not done the Dunkin' drinks yet, but don't worry, don't fret. Okay. Because tomorrow is the day we are going on a road trip, which hold on, put a pin in that. I'll tell you in a second. We're going on a road trip and we're going to do like a little Dunkin' stop and I'm going to grab the Dunkin' drinks. We're going to try some of the Dunkin' food pieces, all of that. And we're going to do a little video review. So stay tuned. Okay. It's going to be fun. And yeah, it's good. I fear it's not apple crisp. And I don't know. And then the local coffee shops, I can't speak to your local coffee shops. We literally have people listening, quite literally, around the world. And I can't speak to it, okay? But what I can do is tell you that there is nothing better than a local coffee shop's pumpkin or fall drink. Wow, why could I not figure out how to express that thought? Anyways, it's just simply best at a local coffee shop. So, go there. Anyways, the road trip, let's talk about it. Okay. So Matt is leaving for military training. He's a chaplain in the Army, and he's going to be gone until basically Christmas. And we're leaving to drop him off this week, with the first week of September, which is crazy. Okay. And there's a lot with this. So I am spending fall solo, which we were going to go to New England this fall and had this whole magical trip planned to go look at all this fall foliage. And does that make me an old woman, the fact that I planned a trip to go look at foliage? Maybe. But I fully embraced it. And I was really excited. We were going to Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. We were going to swing into Rhode Island just because neither of us had ever been. And it felt like a good time. And Massachusetts. So it was going to be like Boston, and it was going to be so great. Okay, trip's done. Trip's gone. Okay. But I am road tripping to the Carolinas, and I don't think it's going to be quite fall ready, but I am excited to just be out there a little bit, be in the mountains, head to the beach. We're going to be all over the Carolinas, and it's going to be really fun. It's like a pre-fall trip, if you will. So with that said, I am spending fall solo. Okay. And there's a lot of hard parts of this, of Matt being gone and all of this, but there's also going to be some fun parts, and we're going to make the best of it. We're going to have a great time. We're going to live our best lives. Okay. And during this time, okay, there is something in me that is screaming, because this feels very like, what does this feel like? It feels very patriarchal. Okay. But I really feel like something I want to learn to do this fall that feels like a good fall activity is like sewing. So yes, my husband will be at military camp, and apparently I'm going to be at home sewing. And that's like where I'm like, oh, I can't do this. But then I'm like, okay, hold on. Isn't it all about being able to do what we want? And if I want to be in my little homemaker era, we can do that. It's okay. Okay. So we're sewing. And I'm very excited. I'm going to learn to sew because I feel like it's a needed skill. I feel like there's been a lot of times where I'm like, wish I could sew. And then I wait for the every 6 months that I see my mother and I ask her to sew things. Okay, that's literally where we're at. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I joined a little sewing group, and they're going to teach me how to make a dress. This is so random, but it just feels like a skill. Like if I'm ever in a situation and they're like, does anyone know how to sew? You know how like, is there a doctor on board? Does anyone know how to? I'll be like, yeah, I got this. Which is just honestly like one of my life goals is like, should anyone ever need a skill set, I would love to be able to be like, yes, I know how to do that. So sewing, which is great. I also am really, really into puzzles right now. I feel like there's something very sweet and fall feeling about a puzzle, okay? And I'm not talking about even like a crazy puzzle, because some of the puzzles are crazy. I mean like a $5 one from like Five Below. I will say I did get a Five Below puzzle, and it's like ombre coffee, and there's like 16 cups of coffee on there, and they're like all different shades. It is by far the hardest puzzle I've ever had to do, because you can't tell one shade from another. They're too similar when they're next to each other. It is a really, really freaking hard puzzle. But you know what? It's okay. I have all fall to accomplish this. And I don't know, it just seems sweet, like to sit there drinking my coffee or my apple crisp shaken espresso and do a puzzle while watching the Harry Potter movies. I'm sorry. Are you not feeling the fall energy right now? Does that not sound magical? So a little coffee, a little pod. Here's an idea. Listen to this podcast, do a puzzle with a coffee. There you go. You're really living your best life then. So puzzles, sewing, those are some of the things that I'm really into right now for fall. Okay. I need an opinion on this. Okay. Solo camping. How do we feel about that? How do we feel about solo camping? Because I really, really love camping in the fall. The trees changing, the fire crackling, sitting there with your book in a hammock while eating really fun snacks, it's just a really good experience. And I'm not saying I would go tent camping, okay? I will never go tent camping again. If you haven't heard the tent story, basically animals were poking their heads in and Matt slept through the whole thing and I was dying. So basically I was already solo camping. Honestly, probably would be a very similar experience to what I've already done. But I would car camp. Okay, one of the reasons why I just love my car, I have the Santa Fe, the Hyundai Santa Fe, is you can put one of those little car mattresses in there and you like camp in your car. And I just feel like Tank and I on the open road, we could go car camping. But I don't know. I also see a lot of cons to this plan and a lot of risks. I see them. It's just, do they outweigh the rewards? That's where we're at right now. And I think that if you have the means to go camping this fall, maybe just day camping. Maybe just like bring the stuff to make a fire, have your snacks, but you don't actually stay overnight. And you leave whenever you start to feel maybe it's time to leave. Maybe that's what we do. That could work out well. Anyways, camping is just so fun for the fall, okay? And I'm really excited about it. So that's kind of like the situation. I got a couple fun trips coming up this fall, so that's really sweet. My brother and sister-in-law got annual passes to Disney World, so I'm trying to figure out at what point I go see them and go to Disney for the fall, because that's magical. And it's just so expensive. Disney World is so expensive. I like did not realize this as a child growing up that like Disney World was expensive. Like my parents said it, but I was like, psh, Six Flags, Disney, same price. Not the same price. Not the same price at all. Okay. So anyways, those are kind of like some of the fall activities. Let's talk about food. Okay. We talked a little bit about drinks, talked about the travel. Let's talk about food. I feel very food bored. And it's just really a disappointing place to be because we're all eating food multiple times a day. And everything just feels so redundant to me right now. I feel like I open up the fridge, I open up the pantry, I'm like, yep, okay, here we go again. And I know that means that I need to get creative with recipes. I know that. But then I have to figure out how to go grocery shopping and what to be making. And anything that's easy isn't healthy. And anything that's healthy goes bad so freaking fast. Here's a tangent. Now that I am solo shopping, which for a lot of food I already do because Matt doesn't eat a lot of the food that I eat. And it is really hard because like I'll be like so excited to try like a recipe or do something and the food goes bad so quickly if it's healthy or it's just really not good for you and it's filled with all the chemicals. And it's just I'm struggling when it comes to food right now. You know what I mean? I really am. I just feel very uninspired with everything. I thought for a minute I was going to get into sourdough. I was like, oh yeah, we're going to do this. And I started watching videos. It's like a child. You like kill your sourdough. And like, it is not an easy process. And people are like crying about this. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't think we're going to do this. I don't think we're going to start this sourdough journey because I don't think I have the mental capacity to kill bread. It's literally like killing bread. And they're like, oh, you have to like watch it like a child. I'm like, what? It's sourdough bread. So I'm very much so just going to stick to the bakery for that one. But yeah, it's hard over here, guys. Feeling very food bored and I want to feel inspired. So something I'm going to push myself towards is like really being intentional about trying new fall recipes and eating in season and doing that. So maybe next episode I'll have something to report on for that. But right now it's just sad. It's just sad. I will say I'm loving the cucumber salads. Okay. If you're on TikTok or really any social media right now, the cucumber salads are just all the rage. And I love a good cucumber. Okay. As a child, we used to make this like cucumber vinegar, white onion concoction. It would like steep overnight and it was like so freaking good. I guess that's kind of pickles. I'm literally thinking about this. I wonder if it was just like pickling the cucumber for a short period of time. Whatever. Anyways, it was so good. And so this guy, Logan, has like all of these like cucumber recipes. He basically eats like 4 cucumbers a day. And he puts all these different things in it. Like I'm talking like salmon and cream cheese, or he'll do like buffalo chicken ones. And like he just makes these cucumber salads. And I'm loving those, but they feel so summery. And I know that that's like a block in my own head, but the cucumbers feel like a summer food. And I'm sitting here going, I can't eat this. I can't eat this because it's not summer anymore. So I'm going to continue to enjoy them through September. But I really feel like once October hits, they're going to not be as essential to my life right now, because I love a good cucumber salad. Okay. So let's talk about what we're doing faith-wise. Okay. So I'm working at church right now and so fun. Love it. Love the community. It's just a good time. Okay. And I get to lead a whole team. It's so freaking fun. Okay. With that being said, I have noticed that I sometimes struggle when it comes to like being consistent then in like my Bible studies, because I feel like for the first time ever, I am feeling the chaos of trying to be in the Bible in multiple sections and like reading multiple sections. And I don't think I'm being very slow with it, because like I'm going through John, still going through John. Like I go very slowly because I like to soak it all in. But then also like there's like all of these Psalms and Proverbs and all of these places that I want to encourage our team with and stuff like that. And the Bible just feels bigger than it's ever felt to me before. And that's both beautiful, but also really hard, because I am someone that likes to be able to know an area really well. And people spend their entire lives, literally their entire lives, on one book of the Bible. Like they will become experts at that book of the Bible. And I just feel like I'm not an expert at any of it. And I know pieces. And that's like my own pride. And you're never going to get to the point where you know the whole Bible perfectly, because we're not God. And I'm trying to stay encouraged with it. Like, okay, that's okay. You know, I don't need to know scripture off the top of my head, like left and right. But it is also kind of just sometimes discouraging, truthfully. And that's kind of a weird thing to be in right now. So I'm trying to focus more in on Psalms and John. I'm trying to stay there because there's so much encouragement in Psalms that I think I can really pull from and help encourage the team and just really be able to like utilize in day-to-day life. But then John also is just like, I told you guys, like, it's just good to continue to lean into that. And so that's what we're doing there. Worship music. Okay. So Matt has entered his phase. Okay. If you grew up listening to like K-Love or like the other Christian radio stations, all of the music that they would play, okay? And you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, it was a lot of, like, Toby Mac and Newsboys and all of that. He's, like, just now discovering all of them. And so he starts listening to these, and he's like, oh my gosh, this song is so good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I, like, am having flashbacks driving to the grocery store with my mom, okay? Because he didn't listen to that music growing up. And so now he loves it. And I just like, it's good music. Okay. But it's just not really like what I want to be listening to. So I've been trying to be like really, really intentional about finding good Christian music that I just can enjoy and not really have to like stress out about. And I started this playlist called Most Favored. And I've been adding like Forrest Frank on there, Henrik, Josiah Queen, Chris Remenza, something like that. I don't know. He's amazing. But all of these people, and it's been really, really, really fun to just like find, it's kind of poppy. Like it's like pop music. It has those flavorings in it. Okay. And it's just been really, really fun to like create a playlist that just feels like very like honoring to God, but also very fun. So those are some of the artists that I'm loving for the music. Okay. So that leads me to my movement habits. Okay. And you're going to be like, how does this lead you to your movement habits? Watch this, okay? I love a good walk. That's not a secret. I talk about this all the time. And what I've done is I have curated for myself 3 types of walks. And I highly encourage you to do this too, okay? It sounds kind of psycho, but you know, if you're here, you have an inkling to be a little more psycho because you see that over here on the organized side of life, it's a good time, okay? So what I've done is I've created 3 types of walks that I go on. And before I get ready to go on a walk, either in the morning or right now, just the morning, but in the fall, the afternoon, I decide which type of walk I'm going on. Okay. So the 3 walks are educational, leisurely, and prayer. Those are my 3 types of walks. And each one is curated in a different way. Okay. I'm very, very particular about this. So my educational walk, this is when I have a audiobook going or a podcast that is just really, really intentional. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Tank was like itching right next to the mic and his collar was making so much noise. Anyways, I'm really, really intentional with like a podcast on a specific topic or just like general wellness, whatever. During these walks, I take a very specific route and I have my protein shake. And I know where I'm going on this loop. I don't have to think about it. It's just second nature. I'm drinking a protein shake, so I feel like I'm moving my body, I'm nourishing my body, and my mind is just really, really honing in on a specific skill. It's great. I have my notes app open, so it's ready in case I need to write something down that I just hear that is, it's just a good time. And I go into that walk very intentional. Like I'm going to learn, I'm going to grow. And that's just a really sweet space to be in, okay? Very intentional time. So when I get ready for my walk and I determine this is an educational walk, I know that going in. Now, similarly, my leisurely walk, oh, I love my leisurely walks. I release myself of the burden to be doing anything specific. I'm just going on a walk. Just to get out of the house, just to relax a little bit. I put my headphones on and I listen to a fun, upbeat playlist. Mostly this most favored one because it's just like fun music. It's a good time. I'm not stressing about anything. I'm not like, oh, I missed whatever they were saying in this podcast. And I always find that this one is helpful either right before a very busy day or after a busy day. And I just need to kind of like chill. I just need to chill. These are my chill walks. And I bring a fun beverage. Okay. If it's in the morning, I will bring my matcha, my coffee, my something with me, okay? Something relaxing, something fun. And if it's in the evening or afternoon, maybe I bring a little bit of, I've been loving this blood orange San Pellegrino. It has no sugar, no calories, no caffeine, nothing. It's just like some orange flavoring in it. It's really light, really refreshing. But like a hot tea, maybe. I think I'm going to really lean into that as the temperature goes down. It's a little too hot for that right now. Or maybe I'm like going wild and I have like a Diet Coke with some lime and vanilla in it. Okay. Either way, my leisurely walk, it's a fun beverage, fun playlist, and I'm just chilling. I'm just kind of doing my thing. Maybe I'm dancing a little while I walk. I do 100% do that. I do dance while I walk a little bit if I got a fun music on. And that has a different like path. Okay. I don't walk the same direction. I literally will go on a totally different thing. And for these walks, I amble. I literally will turn down random streets. I don't walk on like a strategic path. I just go. I walk wherever I want to walk. Those are so fun. Okay. My last one is my prayer walk. Love these because there is something so sweet about going on a walk and just talking to God. And it's so refreshing to move your body and engage in conversations with the Lord while outside, breathing in the fresh air. And the way I start these prayer walks is in a time of thanking God for as much as I can. And it is crazy the way that I will have an absolute mindset and attitude shift and just everything feels so much more aligned when I do these prayer walks. And so I will start by literally just thanking God for all of these things. And then I'll lay out all of the things that are stressing me out. I'll be like, God, I need to let these things go. But for some reason I'm not. So here's everything I'm stressed about and everything. And this is where I have to be a little careful because I will start to go into planner mode and I'll be like, oh, I should do this. Oh, I should do this. So I just like gently remind myself like, oh no, I was in the middle of talking to someone. Let's get back to this conversation. And I just talk and say things that are stressing me out. It's so sweet. I literally will either do this out loud and pretend I'm on the phone, you know what I mean? Or I will do this silently. And I'm really intentional about my breathing in the fresh air around me and just being in a space to like be near God. And then what's really sweet is the time of confession, is like taking time to be like, God, I failed. Like I sinned. I was not perfect here. And I know you don't expect me to be perfect, but I'm sorry. And like like, how can I be better? And just like that time of like releasing the burdens on myself of things that I don't even necessarily, I hadn't even thought of as sin, or I didn't even realize I was doing until this conversation. And then I just get to like kind of like listen and just be his daughter and like be in his presence. And while like on a walk, it's just so much fun to do. I literally did that this morning and it was so peaceful, so aligning. And I just felt very like blessed, and you just feel very, very good afterwards. And not that it's about chasing this feeling, but you just feel closer to your Heavenly Father than you would outside of that. So that's like a really fun habit that we're focusing on, and I love it. And I think it's a fun thing to do this fall because no matter where you live, if it gets really cold or it gets really hot, whatever, the fall is usually a time where there's like a window where you get to be outside comfortably. So embrace it. Assign your walks different themes, and, choose where you walk with different times and different drinks or whatever that looks like for you, and create a space around you that you get to lean into for this, and just curate these magical moments. Okay. So anyways, all of that to say, love you guys. I am so excited for this fall. I'm so thankful that we get to do this, journey together. And crazy, the book that I wrote comes out next month. Okay, so we are going to talk a lot more about that next month in the podcast episode. But anyways, I love you like crazy. I'm so grateful for you, and I will see you all in October, and I hope you have a great September.